What's up, everybody? Julian Hall here. Ultrapreneur TV, at the Ultrapreneur, everywhere on the web. This should be interesting. It's kind of dark at the moment, but I'm sure you guys will see what's going on. So, today's video is about Rolls Royce marketing. And the reason for that is because I came across a meme on my timeline a little while ago, and it said Rolls Royce don't have to market their cars because they do such a great job of building a prestige product. And the idea of the meme was to tell you, focus on excellence and you won't have to market anything. So, coming from a marketing background, I found this quite fascinating, that there's a company out there who doesn't have to market their stuff. So, doing some research, and I already realized this to be the case, Rolls Royce do market, and they've been marketing since 1920. So much so that you'll find in 2013, when they produced the latest addition to their fleet, the Rolls Royce Wraith, that they have a YouTube advert out, and there is an iPhone app, etc, etc. Now, it's not that Rolls Royce don't market. That's not what it is. And that's not what we can learn from this idea about Rolls Royce marketing, prestige marketing. The reason why the typical person on Facebook is not going to see an advert for Rolls Royce is because Rolls Royce themselves have said that if you compare regular marketing to that of a shotgun, Rolls Royce marketing is that of a super sniper. And that is because Rolls Royce, if you don't know, the typical cost of a Rolls Royce, the Wraith for example, is £250,000, right? There are 6 billion people on the planet, but Rolls Royce have a target audience of 85,000 people who have liquid assets of 30 million. So $30 million. So their target audience isn't everybody. It is super targeted. And in fact, their most recent marketing director, Mark Milieu, said that his challenge was actually to make the Rolls Royce more accessible, which is maybe the reason why they did this flashy YouTube advert. I'll put the link in the description for you to check out, and some of the adverts of their really old adverts. So anyway, Rolls Royce do such a good job of their marketing that only their target audience pretty much see their advertising. Or not just their advertising, but the way in which they market. So Rolls Royce have said that their audience do not respond to traditional forms of advertising. So what they do is they rely on the 79 showrooms around the world, and the people that run the showrooms are just like the people who would buy a Rolls Royce. They drive the same cars, they sail in the same yachts, they go to the same parties, they drink the same champagne. So the idea behind that is quite obvious. If you are going to buy something, you're probably going to buy something from someone who's quite similar to yourself, who's going to be quite like you. And so Rolls Royce, that's the first thing that they seem to be doing, right? The second thing is that because their target audience is usually guarded from the average sales tactic out there, they have to create experiences that money can't buy almost. So they'll create an experience where a potential Rolls Royce customer will meet the designer of the Phantom interior, as an example. Or they will hold 4 lunches per year where they can network with people like themselves. So, and over these lunches, there are £1 million deals which are done, which have nothing to do with cars, right? So what they're doing is they're creating an experience. So Rolls Royce do market, but they market in a super sniper targeted sense. So what can we learn from Rolls Royce? What can we learn from Rolls Royce? Ultimately, the only people that should be seeing your advertising and marketing efforts are the people that you're actually selling to. But Rolls Royce have got this down to a demographic. They know exactly how many people in the world exist that are their target demographic and what their liquid assets are. Now, thankfully, for most of you out there, you're going to have more than 79 85,000 people out of the 6 billion people on the planet that are probably going to be able to afford your product, right? And you probably don't need somebody with liquid net assets of 30 million to be within your target audience, right? However, think about your marketing right now, the business that you're doing in your marketing right now. Do you know what the average earnings are for your target audience? Do you know what would get them out of bed? Do you know what would attract them away from their daily routine to look at the stuff that you're doing? Do you know what sparks their interest? Do you know what keeps them awake at night? Do you know the places they go? Where do they shop? The magazines they read? The websites that they are frequenting on, right? And these things are called building up customer profiles or personas, and understanding exactly what the typical persona of your target audience is. So for example, it could be that John is a 25-year-old middle manager who lives in central London and drives a £25,000 car that he has on credit. He lives with his girlfriend and they share a mortgage, and he supports Arsenal, right? You kind of need to get down to that level of detail on the persona and profile of your customer. Now, you're going to have multiple personas and multiple profiles, but what it means is, if you know that your target audience frequents a particular social environment, or they go to a particular website or read a particular magazine, then that's where you can market and advertise to them. And the more narrow you become about who your target persona is, the more narrow you can become about where to market and advertise. There is no shortage of marketing and advertising opportunities out there. You simply just won't have a big enough budget to cover every marketing and advertising piece of real estate out there. So what you need to do is to narrow it down, narrow down all of the different options that you've got out there, and that will start by understanding exactly who your target audience is. Now, you might have a product that doesn't relate to you, meaning you might have come up with an idea for a product and you see an opportunity, but you're not necessarily the target audience. You're not necessarily the type of person that will buy it, or you may not be the archetypal profile of the person that buys it. That's fine. Go out and find them. Go out and find a test group, a user group, a research group of people who fit exactly the profile of your target audience, and then ask them questions. Ask them, what do you think of the way I've just closed you? What do you think of the email that was just sent to you? What do you think about the follow-up email? What do you think about the pricing? What do you think about the color? What do you think about the benefits? What do you think about the features? Ask your target audience. And we have very cool, super slick mechanisms of being able to do that now. SurveyMonkey's a great one. Social media's another great way. Facebook, you can do surveys and polls and all this kind of stuff, right? Or just send out an email, put out a WhatsApp. You can get all this information back very, very quickly. So get to know your target audience intimately. Find out what makes them tick. And once you've put all of that information into a pot, it will really inform your marketing decisions. We don't need to make assumptions about our audience anymore. All we need to do is ask them. So that's it, guys. In order to be like Rolls Royce and only have your audience, your target audience, see your adverts, just get to know them. And that's it, guys. This video was useful. Do share it. If there is anything else that you would like me to cover, then hit me up at the Ultrapreneur everywhere on the web, and I am out of here. Peace.